How do you feel your team is doing right now?
Well, we made a little progress last weekend, and I was glad to see that. We're still a ways away, obviously, but I thought we were more physical, we were more aggressive. We did some things along those lines that were good. We didn't give up much rushing yardage, and we haven't turned it over, and that's a real plus. Our pass game is not where it should be, and the integral parts have not really practiced enough together to get to that point. But that's in front of us, and we're still working away at that, and hopefully that'll start to come together.
Why will this team be better than last year's team?
I think it'll be better than last year's team because I think we'll move the ball. I think we've got an opportunity to have a better running game. We do have some issues to solve on the right side of our line, but we're 1 year offensively into this system. I think Eli's done very well in the system. He likes it. He literally has control of everything, especially when we're out over the ball. He has his run checks and his pass checks. He knows exactly what they are. They're dictated from the staff. But he is the guy that's in charge that way. And I think defensively, we have a chance to whether you want to call it with the no names or however you want to do it, we have a chance to be a better defensive team from a statistics standpoint and in those critical situational spots where we need to so desperately improve. 2 minute, our third down game, etc. Identifying the pass rushers. Some of the young guys have done well. Moore's done well. Ayers has rushed the passer well. We move Cullen Jenkins down inside, and he seems to do well inside. Devon has done a nice job from the outside. Kennard. So, I think those things have given us a little bit of a shot in the arm. Now, we've had some injuries in the safety spot, and so we're waiting for Collins to get back, and Merriweather has to play a little bit more. He has to get involved, and we've gotten a few people back from injuries that I hope we can start to maneuver and solidify in that spot. But that's something we have to work on.
Tom, do you care one iota about results individually and team-wise in preseason games?
Well, what I care about is improvement. I care about individual players challenging themselves with objectives. And I think once, Michael, you get in the game, you want to win the game. We never sacrifice any of our personnel type decisions, when we're going to play, how many plays we're going to play. But when it comes down to it, you're in the fourth quarter in a tight game. You want to win. I think you always want to win. I think that's what I always tell our team. You always want to win the games, but you always want to win them because it's a lot easier to teach from a winning standpoint than it is from a loss.
Last year, I thought was solid for Eli. 30-14, 4,000 yards. I think he completed over 62% of his passes. Is that enough, or do you need even more in this offense? I think he'll do more. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be more. But I would say this to you. The other night, I think we had 77 plays. And we had 27 runs. I would have liked to see those runs like in the 35 range, the 35 carry range, and then the pass game come down from 47 to 40. I think we can get into that category again, where we feel like we can control the ball, we run the ball a little bit better in the green zone, and then be able to use the play-action pass a little bit better.
Now, Victor Cruz came out and said that he felt that Jacksonville was targeting Odell Beckham Jr. They deny it, but my question to you, Coach, is do you believe he has a target on his back this year?
Well, I know he certainly is well recognized for his accomplishments in his rookie season. I don't think it's going to be categorized as a target. I think that I saw what you saw with the safety coming over the top. But you know what? I think Odell will deal with that very well, and then the more plays that he makes, obviously people will respect his game even more.
What a difference a year makes. We were here last year at this time, and we were wondering when he'd get on the field.
Yeah, that was
then he plays 12 games, and now he's one of the biggest athletes in New York.
Yeah, the problem being that, of course, we had the injuries to deal with all through camp and through the first 4 games. And the one thing that I was really, really impressed with the young man is that he had basically 1 week or a couple of extra days perhaps of practice time. And we moved him. We put him in all different locations. We motioned him all around. He did all that in an excellent fashion. His mental alertness and awareness was outstanding. And, for a guy to come on the scene like that, to have some things not go his way and then to jump in there and play like he did and eliminate almost completely the mental errors, and then make the big plays that he made. That was outstanding.
When you look at this team, again, you have a preseason where guys get injured. We just had John Mara on. He said, I don't know what the answer is. Tom hasn't had them on the field as much as he used to. I know this just rips away at you. Is there an answer? Is that just what football is, Tom?
Well, if that's what football is, it's a lot different than it was a bunch of years ago. I mean, you just see so many injuries. And, for example, the old adage in football, as you well know, Michael, if you've got a spot that you're concerned about and you've got maybe a couple of injuries there, that's where it's going to happen again. Right. And we lost 2 safeties the other night. So, these things are very difficult to explain. They've been very difficult to explain because, as John mentioned to you, I mean, we've had injuries for a few years, and yet this year, we really have we're going to what I call GPS practices. We're actually monitoring everything. We've got people on a monitor system. We normally, if we have 2 hard days in a row, the third day is not anywhere near as long or as difficult. So we're trying to understand all the science that goes into this and to do a better job of managing our practices. But even in doing that, it's still football, and things happen out there on the field. And as much as you want to plan around it, the injuries occur.
One of your former players, Sean O'Hara, critical of the offensive line about all the injuries, that they're not tough enough. I mean, how do you determine a lack of toughness or a guy that just can't go because he's hurt?
Well, to go back to what it is that in training camp this year, we've done a lot of the inside 9-on-7 drill. And I've always believed that's the one that puts the label on you as far as toughness goes, because, I mean, the defensive team knows that the ball's not even going outside. It's going to be inside. And you have to block people, and you have to defeat blocks, and you have to step up in there as a linebacker, and you have to lead as a fullback, for example, on people. And it is a toughness drill, and we've done a lot of that this fall. We did it again today, and I think that's the precursor to being able to make sure that you're a tougher football team. And we've talked about that too, not only just physically but mentally as well.